My guest is Ophelia Rigault, who is the founder of a club called SHINE.
Yes.
So what does SHINE stand for?
SHINE stands for self-love, hope, inclusion, and empowerment. And the SHINE Club is a program that I founded, and it is for racialized children, so children who identify as Black, Indigenous, or child of color. And it is partnered with the Catholic School Board right here in Kingston and Trenton and Belleville area. And what we do is we provide a brave space for these children, and I've trained facilitators, so BIPOC or racialized facilitators are in the room with racialized children for them to discuss in how they're feeling in being in a body that's racialized.
So how do these conversations take place? I'm trying to imagine children talking about this.
Well, you know, children, and the program starts at grade 1 and it goes all the way up to grade 8. Each school is unique. Some schools have older children. So right now it's really in the elementary schools. Believe it or not, young kids know what racism is. Mm-hmm. And the program started really when my niece was in school and she came home and said a little boy said something to her that was racist, right? And of course I was upset, she was upset. But I had prepared her for this. I had prepared her from the moment she started going into daycare, because I knew kids were naturally going to say, you look different, and kids are curious about people.
And bluntly honest.
And bluntly honest. They will tell you, you have gum in your mouth, you have spinach on your teeth, right? But I want to back up and just let the audience know that race is a social construct, right? We in society have decided and we can go all the way back, that humans are going to be structured in different races, right? But we're all human. And so I really started to tell my nieces, I never wanted her to feel when somebody told her that you are less than because of the color of your skin, that it's her fault. So she came home upset that this child said something, and we talked through it, and I reinforced that it isn't her fault, and she wasn't surprised. But then I started to think, as I was talking to the principal, what about the other kids?
Right.
Right? What about the other kids? Because some parents, they may not talk to their children about it. They don't know how to talk to their children about it.
They hope it'll never come up.
Yes, they want to keep them innocent. And the program really started because of that. Because I knew some of the kids in her school, and there was a need. And in the community, I had Black parents telling me their experience. I mean, I've been living in Kingston since 2007. So just in the community and working in the community, I knew these things were happening. And I thought, children sometimes don't have a voice because they're children. We
speak for them.
We speak for them. And I wanted to empower them, because I was thinking of my sassy Trinidadian little girl coming here to Canada, and my concept of racism was I didn't have one, because everybody around me was brown and Black, right? So I came sassy. So when a teacher had said something to me that was negative, was discriminatory, it was right back with attitude. So I got labeled to being the bad kid, right? And I thought, this is how we empower children, because we're not teaching them that it's not about them. And that's really what the program is about. It's providing that safe space, and we actually bring up the topics, but a lot of it is about self-confidence. It's about building self-esteem.
Sounds like it's anti-bullying.
Yeah.
Is a lot of what you're saying.
It's anti-bullying, but because I tell people, and some of there's some parents that are resistant to that, because it is only for racialized children. So if your family identifies as racialized, Black, Asian, Indian, whatever, and they will know I don't have to identify them as one, or Indigenous, this is the club for you, right?
Okay.
And so basically, if you identify as Caucasian or white and you don't identify as being racialized, this club is not for you. And I tell parents, it's just like chess.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, and it's not about inclusion. It's about providing a safe space, because children now are in a space where they see other children that look like them.
So what is the difference in this kind of bullying versus other kinds of bullying? Well, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I got tall very young. I was
Right.
taller than both my parents before I was in my teens, and skinny. And if you want to find me in a class photo, there I was,
There
back row center,
You're right.
always, right?
Yeah,
Because I
right.
was always taller than everybody else. And oh boy, the bullying that went on. There was nothing I could do about it, was there? I can't get any shorter than I was. I just kept hoping I didn't keep growing. But so is it different that I had, saddled with being very tall versus a child who's brown or black?
There's a big difference.
There is,
There is
okay.
a big difference, because all children can be bullied because of their size, their height, the color of their hair. Some kids are bullied because they have freckles. But a child can be bullied for all those reasons, and we have the layer of race.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And race brings historical negative context, historical discrimination, bias. Like, we might think a race of a group of people can only do this.
Oh, of
Right,
course.
like
But-
bias.
And it might be positive, it might be negative.
Yes.
But we still do that.
Yeah, like we might think that, all tall black boys should play basketball.
Right.
Right?
And if they're big guys, they should play football.
Yeah, and these are the things that kids talk about. I have a group of kids who are like Asian, and we talk about what are the bias against your community. And some Asian kids, like, all Asian kids should go into science, right? So, right, or all, so these are the layers. So when we discuss race, I always tell people, you're bringing that historical context with you, right? You're bringing that bias. So as little kids, they are experiencing this, and I always tell teachers and community, it's not about your intent. It's not like I am going into, or a teacher's going in and saying, I am racist, I'm going to target those black and Asian kids and point them out. But we have to remember that bias has been ingrained. Racism has been taught, and there's this understanding, right? So an example is that you might have a teacher, unbeknownst to him or her, might feel that this black child is being too loud.
Okay.
Right, and same experience, and maybe as a white child, and they feel that, but not realizing, if they don't dive deep, that that's just a bias with the same type of behavior.
Okay.
Right, and
Yeah.
studies have proven it, right?
Yeah.
So these are the things that kids are feeling and experiencing, and within Kingston, you might have a school that's 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you have, let's say, 30 racialized kids of different ages. They might never see another racialized child in their class, because
Of course, they'd be the only one because
they might be the only one.
Right,
They
of
might be
course.
the only one. But when they
Easy.
come in, they say, I didn't even know you were in my school. They might never have had a racialized teacher,
Right.
or a support person. So, so the program has educators, and that educator might be the only one in the school. And now we partnered with a community person that's racialized. So there's two sets of supports,
Right.
right? And they're like, Mrs. So-and-so, I didn't even know you were in the school. So it builds community, it builds empowerment, it builds inclusion. And also, even with the resistance that may come from children or parents that might say, this is reverse racism because my child can't come, it also is an opportunity to educate.
Yes, absolutely. The little boy who said something unpleasant to your niece.
Yes.
The kids don't come out with that on their own.
No.
I mean, where has he heard that before?
He's-
And that you wonder how you can undo, and it may be his parents, his grandparents, these comments that were made, because certainly I was raised with them. That's the way it was.
Yeah.
trying to get past that.
And the Shine Club is an opportunity to offer education in just as being in the schools, right?
Okay.
But the program doesn't go in to create a program where we're going to be educating parents, right?
Right.
But what being there is a benefit and a natural organic response
Okay.
for it being there, because the parents who may be challenged that the Shine Club is there, not just seeing it as a club,
Right.
now are confronted like, maybe I have a bias.
Okay.
Because
I get it.
here's what's happening.
Right.
I would not have been in any school board by just coming in. I was invited in.
Right.
I consulted. And how consultation happens within any school board is parents keep saying, this is happening to my child. Children say, this is happening to me.
And that's when it starts to come up.
And it comes up.
It's
And
more-
now, and just on a sort of a governmental political level, there's lots of studies that's out there, and the Ministry of Education has said, this is happening, we've done the study, we need to do something about it.
So you're in the Catholic system, and now perhaps going into the entire system.
My hope is to get into the public system in Kingston, and hopefully that will happen.
And people can Google Shine.
They just Google the Shine Club or my
just
name, and they
Shine
can find
Club,
it.
and you will find it
Yes.
and read more about it.
Yes.
And maybe get it in more of the school systems.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for telling me about this. It's a great initiative.
Thank you for having me and sharing this. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.